Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala amma ba'd. Qala rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, my name is Muhammad Yusuf Ali. I was formerly known as Muralitharan, and I converted to Islam in the year of 2008 in the holy month of Ramadan. So inshallah, it's my pleasure to share a bit of my conversion journey with all of you today. Thank you. So in the month of Ramadan in 2008, I was welcomed to visit Masjid Jami Chulia, located at South Bridge Road. It was very coincidental. I happened to pass by the masjid and I bumped into a brother, a fellow Muslim brother who was working in the masjid. He invited me, because Masjid Jami Chulia has a very beautiful excursion, I would say, at the entrance of the masjid. There were a lot of knowledge about Islam and about the oneness of God, and I was given some brochures to look at. So what happened was I took them with me. I went back home and I was just looking through the brochures, and a lot of facts which I came across the brochure made sense to me. For an example, those were just very simple brochures which spoke about the oneness of Allah. For an example, can there be two drivers to a bus? Can there be two husbands to a family? As such, can there be two gods to the world? So small facts like this, kind of shook me. All right, it enlightened me about believing in the oneness of God, basically the scope of monotheism. Hence, what happened was the following day, I had other purpose to go back to the same location, which is South Bridge Road. But this time round, I decided to just pass by the masjid to say hello to the brother whom I met the day before, just to say hi. Something just triggered me to visit the brother once again. But this time round, I did not see the brother there. Apparently, it was his off day, and I happened to bump into the Imam of the masjid. May Allah bless him. All right, his name is Imam Yusuf Qasim. Right, so he approached me. He welcomed me into the mosque. He asked me who am I looking for. I told him that I met someone called Brother Ali yesterday. Yes, his name is also Brother Ali. And then Imam Yusuf told me that, no, the brother is on off today, so how can I help you? So I told him, no, I just came by to say hi. And then I was, hanging around the masjid, just waiting to take my leave. And then the Imam told me that it's about time for them to break their fast. As I mentioned, it was the month of Ramadan. So he told me that it's about time for them to break their fast. Hence, I can stay if I wish to. Otherwise, I can take my leave. So long story short, what happened was after our fellow Muslim brothers, went ahead with their ifṭār, thereafter they were preparing for their Maghrib prayer. So it's the first time that I was given the opportunity to observe how Muslims pray. Right, because at the age of 15, I have never really been to Muslims' events or mosque events or activities. So I decided to just, stay behind one of the pillars in the masjid and just observe how the Muslims are going to pray. Now, here's some pointers that I want to say is what intrigued me a lot was, it was despite about having like almost 500 to 600 fellow brothers that night, right, having their ifṭār, but I saw brotherhood in them because everyone was like wrapping up their food, taking their wudu and standing in line in the same position. I saw uniformity and brotherhood in that masjid on that day. So and then I was just wondering and curious to see what's going to happen next. And then the Imam of the masjid, he started off with the Maghrib prayer by reciting Al-Fatihah. So right the moment when he mentioned, when he raised his hands and mentioned Allahu Akbar, and then I saw the silence, the unity in the people of the masjid and how they were disciplined. They were standing in a very proper manner in the position. I was so impressed, and I was looking forward to see what's going to happen next. And then, of course, as we all know, the first surah that we all read in our prayer is Surah Al-Fatihah. And the moment the Imam started reciting Surah Al-Fatihah, mashallah, it's a feeling that came about in me, which I can't simply express by words, but I would say a divine wisdom penetrated my heart, my mind, my soul. I felt so much in peace. I was feeling very calm. I felt, I could feel, the divineness, of blessings that has been bestowed upon me just by listening to Surah Al-Fatihah. And then there again, in the second raka'at, I heard the Al-Fatihah once again. And this time round, I just told myself that I want to be a Muslim just by listening to Surah Al-Fatihah, right? But prior to that, yes, very minimal knowledge about Islam, right? Basically, who is the first prophet, how is Jesus being mentioned in the Quran as well, right? These kind of factors was very interesting to me back then at my age. So the Imam was done with the prayer. He approached me. He asked me, how come I'm still in the masjid? I told him that I wanted to become a Muslim. And that's when, following Maghrib, was Isha prayers. Right after Isha prayers, I was just waiting somewhere at the corner of the masjid. And this time round, when I heard Surah Al-Fatihah in the first and second rak'at, I was completely convinced that this is what I want. So right after Isha prayers, the Imam invited me to the masjid, and the entire Jama'ah witnessed my Shahada. I recited the Shahada in front of everyone, and the entire masjid was full of joy. They were so happy. They were all, praising Allah, reciting takbir, hugging me, kissing me, and it was such a beautiful moment in my life. I can never forget that. And my first prayer in my life was, of course, Tarawih, because right after Isha prayer, when I converted Islam, the Imam asked me if I wanted to join them for Tarawih, and hence Tarawih is a very, it's a very dearest prayer in my life, so something that I look forward to always every Ramadan. So that's a gist of, I would say, my conversion, my journey to Islam in 2008 Ramadan. Follow your heart, because your heart can't go wrong, right? While our minds might be corrupted with various kind of emotions, sometimes happiness, sometimes sadness, sometimes doubts, sometimes we have all kind of worries and all. Put all of them aside. Listen to your heart. At the age of 15, I will have to admit that I was a fearful boy growing up, just a secondary school student. I was fearful of entering the masjid, but I decided to listen to my heart and just follow what my heart said. My heart told me that let's give this a try and just enter the masjid and just see and understand how the Muslims are also exercising or practicing their religion. So one humble advice I would give is that we should not be easily influenced by what we hear or what we see on social media, right? Social media is it's always something these days, right? There's always good and bad, undeniably, but to ensure that we get the proper clarity, right? The proper enlightenment is for us to experience it by ourselves. So if our heart says that there is something that I want to know about Muslims, then you should speak to the right Muslims. If you want to know how Islam is being practiced in a mosque, just enter the mosque. Look, we have about 70 mosques in Singapore, and all the masjids welcome people, right? Regardless of race and religion, right? So learn about Islam, and of course the key to anything, including understanding the religion, would be seeking knowledge. So seek beneficial knowledge, good knowledge, and inshallah, may Allah grant all of us the wisdom that we need, inshallah. With that, thank you very much for listening to our conversion journey. So with that, we wish all of you a good day ahead. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.